Hi, I'm Beth Callahan. I'm the editor of the WarrenCountyPost.com, and as many of you know or are aware of, we have a presidential election coming up November 5th. Because we've been so bombarded with presidential election information, sometimes we forget or often overlook that we have other races that are going on that are being challenged that will impact us at the state and federal level. While none of the candidates running for our local county offices are being challenged, Warren County residents will be choosing who they want to represent them in Columbus as a state house representative and who they'll be sending to Washington, D.C. for our U.S. House representative. Because it is so hard to find out or even know who is running for these positions, I felt obligated as the editor of the WarrenCountyPost.com to give you, the reader, a chance to meet the candidates and also give the candidate a chance to let their voice be heard. Remember, the WarrenCountyPost.com is just a small digital media platform, trying to give you, the Warren County, Ohio resident, some local news information the best we can on a very limited budget. So with that said, here we go.
Warren County is a sound. Oh, Ohio's place. Fun all around. Yeah. Warren County, feel the beat. Every corner fun to meet. Oh, from the rivers to the trains. Dance all night, feel no pain. Yeah. City lights, small town nights. All together feel so right. Get too small, let's unite. Warren County, pure delight.
Hi, today we have with us Adam Mathews. He's our state rep in District 57?
56.
56. So, Adam, what party are you running with?
I'm the incumbent, and I'm the Republican representing District 56, which is Lebanon, Mason, South Lebanon, Deerfield Township, Turtle Creek Township, and Union Township, and a little bit of Hamilton Township.
And how long have you lived in Warren County?
I've went to grade school here at St. Susanna, grew up, went out to Notre Dame for undergrad, did engineering there. Between engineering and law school, I did civilian work, but for the Navy Nuclear Propulsion, and that was in Pittsburgh and a few other places. And then I came back to Notre Dame for law school. Since then, I've been in Warren County, living in Lebanon, love it. Grew up doing, being involved, working from Parks and Rec up to Lebanon City Council, and still live there now with my wife and our 5 kids.
5 kids.
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's a lot. That's good though. I have
Yes.
children, so.
They're cute.
So you've been a state rep, but what else do you bring to the table that you think helps you with this position?
I am a state representative, and I treat that as a full-time job, doing 35, 40 hours a week or more, making sure that I take the pro-life, pro-family, pro-business principles of Warren County and representing those up in the State House. But I also keep my day job. I'm in-house counsel for a large international nonprofit, as well as keeping a side practice doing intellectual property work, patent, copyright, trademark, and so doing really 2.5 jobs while being a state representative, so that I can continue to provide for my family and not have to be beholden to the salary or the perks or anything else that comes from being a state representative, because these 2-year terms, there's a lot of incentive to do a vote the wrong way. It is really beneficial to continue working, and while that means I have a lot of caffeine to keep everything going, it does mean that I can keep my integrity intact.
So these are 2-year terms, correct? And how many? Is it 4?
We can do 4 2-year terms for a total of 8 years.
Okay. And what, since you've been there the first 2 years, what are some of the things that you're proud of that you think that you've accomplished?
The main 2 goals that we worked on in our office were taxes and tennis. So I came in working House Bill 1 to get Ohio to a flat tax. When I came in, we had 4 tax brackets. I wanted to cut off 3 of them. To work that into the budget, we compromised a little bit, and to make sure we had universal school choice, had starting teacher pay at the highest it's ever been and get our tax cut, we chopped off 2 of the tax brackets instead of 3, but that still resulted in $2.2 billion of income tax cuts for Ohio families. It also removed the CAT for most businesses, which is the commercial activities tax, which taxes businesses on money that comes in, not even profit. So you could lose money because of the taxing structure. That was a huge win to do that. We also, I've been working on property taxes, making sure that we can cut property taxes for our seniors to make sure that our seniors are not taxed out of their homes. And then the second one was tennis. Working with our county and city officials, we were able to ensure that the Cincinnati Open is going to remain in Ohio for the next 25 years. All summer, people were saying, even up to ESPN, were saying, this is gone, it's going to North Carolina. And part of the reason that North Carolina was able to compete with us to try to take away the Cincinnati Open, which has been here since 1899, was because they've been cutting taxes and cutting regulations and shrinking government and allowing an economic boom to happen in North Carolina. And their businesses were therefore able to try to lure the Western and Southern Open, the Cincinnati Open, out of Ohio. We were able to step in and show what a great asset this is to have this type of tournament here in Warren County, here in Mason. And right now we're having $260 million of shovel-ready renovations and expansion happening right here in Warren County. And that's a huge win. On top of that, we were able to get a couple more $1 million coming in. Again, we try to shrink the government first, but once we win or lose that fight of shrinking the budget and shrinking the size of government, we make sure that it's coming here so that our representatives, our citizens here in Warren County have that benefit, because if we don't, then Toledo, Cleveland, everyone else is going to get it. So we were able to help the Lebanon Historic Museum. We were able to help a dog park. We were able to help some paths, help the prison here, and making sure that our community continues to grow and have the character that we expect.
Now, what are some things you'd like to see done in the future if you get to keep the seat? What are some of the policies or legislation you'd like to go forward with?
We're going to continue working to make sure that property taxes are not onerous, especially for our senior citizens, for our widows, for our veterans. I've introduced a bill that would double the homestead exemption so that those that have lived in their homes, that have put roots into their community, aren't taxed out of their homes. And we're moving that through committee. We're really working on empowering the next generation of workers, making sure that our tech schools are properly funded and accredited. We're going to continue moving forward with simplifying our municipal code. There are over 600 villages in Ohio, and many of them don't provide the services that they are supposed to. And so if we can move through one of my bills, it's passed out of the House nearly unanimously, it's over in the Senate right now. What it would do is, if a village is not providing half of the services that are normally the reasons that you would call to dissolve a village, then the next census, 2 years after that, the question to dissolve the village automatically goes to the voters so that they can have a final say if they want to continue to be paying taxes for a village that isn't providing the services that are given to them. We want to make Ohio more responsive, smaller government, and have a place where our children, my children and all of our children, can grow up in virtue and have the economic opportunities that we had growing up.
According to Warren County, 70% of our people who vote are non-party. 24% are Republican, I think, and 6% are Democrat. When it comes to voting, are you going to vote more towards what the party leans or more towards what your constituents want?
So I think that's a false choice, because Warren County is incredibly successful because it has strong principles, because it is pro-family, pro-business, limited government, and that generally does align with the Republican Party. And that being said, I work with whomever that's going to engage in good faith. Right now, that homestead bill that I mentioned is joint sponsored with a Democrat from Northern Ohio. Similarly, I'm working with Representative Isaacson down in Cincinnati, that he and I are trying to go after the housing crisis, and where young families can't get a starter home and seniors can't find a home to downsize because there's just no availability. So we're trying to increase the housing supply so that people can get that first home and start building their lives. And so it doesn't matter where the good ideas come from. I'm willing to work with everyone in good faith. That being said, I am unabashedly conservative. I was ranked the 6th most conservative member by CPAC, and because of the good work I've been doing, protecting the Second Amendment, protecting our taxpayers and their wallets, I've been endorsed by Ohio Chamber of Commerce, NFIB, Ohio Right to Life, Ohio Farm Bureau, and numerous others. And so I am Republican, I am conservative, and proudly conservative, but there's a lot of things that we can agree on, that whether that's tennis, whether that's keeping more money in our wallet, whether that's taking care of our seniors. I'm taking what works in Warren County and protecting and promoting that in the State House.
One more question. Anybody that's politically involved knows right now that both the Democratic Party and the Republican Party are split amongst themselves even. So as a Republican, what's something that you really see that you really like about the Republican Party, and then what's something you see that maybe we could do better to help our party come together?
So one thing that I really like about you're saying about the Republican Party is, I'm going to pick the homer pick. It is incredible to see Southwest Ohio's own J.D. Vance being elevated to be one vote away from the Naval Observatory as the vice president. That's incredible. I know that he came to our Lebanon parade when I was in charge of that in 2020 when COVID shut down all the parades around the country. But here in Lebanon, we kept the Independence Day parade going. And JD came by, and it's great to have that new passing of the torch to the first millennial ever to be on a presidential ticket. That's a huge win. And something that we need to do is be able to persuade and communicate our ideas so that those can hear them. When we lead with vitriol, or even if we lead with jargon and the words that we know that we use to describe the same issues. You mentioned before the numbers of the unaffiliated voters. All of us have a stake in what's going to happen in the future. All of us have a stake in what's happening in our communities. And sometimes we're going to use different words for that, but we can often see the same problems. Out of control inflation, not enough housing, people almost living deaths of despair continue. And being able to work on those and being able to be confident enough in our own principles that we can speak to anyone, whether that's on our side of the aisle or otherwise, so that we can get those things done.
And anything else you'd like to say to the constituents or the voters coming up that you want them to know about you?
I've continued to work incredibly hard to serve this district. It's been an honor for these last 2 years. And I'm incredibly grateful for the multiple elections, whether it's been primary or the general, where the voters of District 56 have put their faith in me. And I've been making sure that I'm rewarding that. We've been able to pass the most bills out of the House of any freshman and the 3rd most overall. And those have been good bills. Most of them, many of them have been passed almost unanimously. Some of them are more partisan. We passed one bill that made sure that our arson investigators could have their Second Amendment and the ability to carry firearms when they're investigating people that are willing to burn down people's houses, which I think is sufficiently dangerous enough that you should be able to carry your firearm to protect yourself. But we've been able to do some really good things that are going to affect Ohio for generations.
Well, thank you for stopping by and answering the questions. And I'll put up where people can reach you to find out more about you and
Excellent.
Ask you questions. And well, thanks.
Perfect.
Good luck.
Thank you so much.